Now we're on section 1.7, absolute values. So an absolute value is when you see a number, an expression, and it has these two big lines to the left and right of it. And so the absolute value of a number is basically just that number minus all the signs around it. So for example, the absolute value of 10 is just 10. The absolute value of -3 is 3. It's basically the number 3, but I removed the sign on it. And same way, absolute value of -7 is 7. It's just the number, but I removed the sign. The absolute value of 1/2, or let's call it -1/2, is just 1/2 because you strip it of the sign. And then the same way, absolute value of the number 5 is just 5. The absolute value of the number 0.5, again, is just 0.5. So absolute values, you can kind of just think of them as removing the sign from a number. But technically an absolute value has to do with distance. So if you look at the number line right here, and you look at the distance between 0 and 2, that distance is 2. But if you look at the distance between 0 and -2, that distance is also 2, even though you're going in the negative direction. And that's what absolute value does. It just gives you the distance from one point to another, and it doesn't take into account the negative signs. So these are kind of the same. So the absolute value of 2 is just 2. The absolute value of -2 is also 2, because it's kind of looking at 2 as the distance between 0 and 2.